Hello and welcome. So this is another video about, my name's Carrie and I do many videos. I've now got a new educational Carrie's Education YouTube channel that's gone live, and it's got many topics like football coaching, working in customer service. So I will give you the link to that site. So I want to talk about today is basically how to plan a post-COVID party if you've got a birthday party coming up or you are planning a wedding. If you are engaged, congratulations. And so now it's time to, now you've got engaged, it's time to plan your day. So I've put some tips on how to do that, about 13 of them. So the first one is set the day. So what I was to do is what I did, is find a calendar, go through the months and choose a date that's either in the summer, or if you want a winter wedding, you need to sit down and choose a date, and then obviously, and also make sure you save up for it, because weddings are not cheap by any means, but there are ways that you can get a good priced items in terms of your wedding. I got originally married to now my soon to be ex-husband in a civil, it was called a Tudor Hall, and I saw it in a magazine that I picked up, and it wasn't that much really. It was about £250 in terms of deposit, and then you had to pay another £250 near the day. And it was a really nice weekend, and now of course we're split up, but it didn't mean that I had a bad day. I did, but that's the first tip that I would give you. Set the date, and then go through the second one. Start doing more planning, like brainstorming ideas. Buy a wedding magazine because they're very helpful. You can save money on many areas, like my auntie does flower arranging, so she did the flowers for me, and we also ordered some flowers, but that saved us a hell of a lot of money. The wedding dress I had was discount. It was originally £1,500, and when you go and choose a dress, try to barter the amount to spend, and find out when they have a sale on. And it's not to basically, if you don't want a wedding dress off the peg and you want one designed for you, then you can still go into a local wedding shop and ask them if they do that, because sometimes they do. But what's good, the next thing I would say is try several dresses that are on the peg, just to see which style suits you. And then talk it over with your fiance. Now don't leave them out in the lurch. Go through the plans that you've set. Obviously, if you don't want them to see your wedding dress, you can do that separate. But obviously then, and you can hire suits. You don't have to buy them, and that's exactly what my husband back then did. He found a store in Southampton where he could hire the suit and then take it back. And that's another great way of saving money. But I tell you the truth, because there's so many websites now, you can definitely get a good price wedding dress and outfits for the groom and their best man, and for your bridesmaids. My bridesmaids dresses that I bought were from Debenhams, and again I got a discount on those. So so check the sales that are out there, because you may not have to pay full price, and if you can get away with not paying full price, then you've saved yourself a heck of a lot of money, and then you can then spend it on other things like photographer, something to do. I paid for my hair to be done, and then my bridesmaids did their own hair, and my mum did my makeup for me. If I was to get married again, I would do things very differently to when I first got married to my now separated husband. But I still, I still want to talk about it, because when it comes to weddings, it can be a lot of money, and it's something that I wanted to share, and I was going to write a book about it, and I still might actually at some point. But I'm not a marriage expert. I'm just someone who's been married, and we didn't rush into it really, but it still was a good day. So that's what I want. So you can, and also spend some time together, because I found that we didn't really see each other on our wedding day. Funny enough, we did the ceremony, and then we did the reception. And to tell the truth, we did, because that we had a lot of friends and family. We would go around and talk to them. We didn't really spend some time together. And if I was to get married again, I would make sure that me and that person, were together and not separated. And so you do learn from your previous marriages of what how to go into the next relationship if you do meet someone else. And another thing is save. We've been talking about anything that you don't have to spend full price on. Take advantage of that. And another thing is have a folder and keep all your bookings, your ideas or flowers in one place. You can just get yourself a Levi's folder, or there's a paper folder, just to keep everything together, and with telephone numbers, addresses, details of the bookings, any appointments that you have to make before you get married. Arranging the hen do, if you haven't decided that you want a hen do or a bachelor's party. And also use Pinterest, or if you've got get yourself a big A3 piece of paper, and might create a vision board for it. So if you see that a certain dress that you like in a magazine, if you see a type of hairstyle, create a vision board as well, so you can look at it, and then if you want to make changes, you can. But that's one way of way to manage it. And the next one is, of course, set a budget for each individual thing that you need to book, but also set yourself an ultimate budget. So how much? And when I went wedding dress shopping, the woman was so nice, because she said, first thing she said, right, what is your budget? Well, how much are you willing to spend? And I didn't want to spend any more than £1,000 on a wedding dress, and I got mine at a discount. And so I gave it away in the end of the dress, because I would never wear it again. But I'm glad that I did. It only cost me £695, and that was from, originally it was supposed to be £1,500. So it did save me a lot of money, and I used my shares that I had Halifax to pay for it. So and if people offer to help with your wedding, take them up on it, because the less stress and the less things you need to worry about, you can just concentrate on getting married, and let somebody let your bridesmaid, for example, organise your hen do. Get them to decorate the hall whilst you get ready. Have a rehearsal if it's required. We didn't. It's mainly church weddings where you would have where you would do a rehearsal. And also, number 10 is how many guests you want at the wedding. Now, because of COVID, you still can't have loads of people there, so you will have to be very selective when it comes to planning a wedding. And the one thing I would say is, if somebody says, "Oh, I want an invite," you don't, because I did that, and then when I invited them, they didn't turn up. So it was like, well, that was mucking me about, because at the end of the day, you said that you wanted an invitation. I gave you the invitation, you didn't turn up. So now you've taken that space when somebody else who could have been there wasn't. So don't let your guests muck you about. Make sure they RSVP you, and they let you know if they can make it or they can't. And and also keep in touch with the venues, because the one thing that they did is when we originally had the deposit, they had a massive staff turnover, and they had no details of our record of our deposit. And because the boat show was on at the same time, which they said that originally would be affected, they upped the price of the rooms, so they did stitch us up. So keep tabs with the venues and with the registrar, and make sure, and same with, if you're booking a DJ to do a disco, keep tabs on them and keep checking to see if they can actually make it or not, because you do get people mucking you about if you don't. The other thing is choose the food that you want. So to avoid anybody getting an allergic reaction, obviously don't have food which can contain nuts, in case they're allergic to that. And always ask in your invitation if they've got any dietary requirements, and to let you know if they have or not, so then you can tell the venue who you're doing the food, they can cater for those people and cater for all your guests. And the other thing is if you just want to do like a quiet reception at your house and you've got space to invite, a few people, if it's 10, 11 people, or say 5 or 6 people, and you don't want a whole crowd, why not have like a barbecue type style reception? Because especially in the hot weather, you don't want to be inside. And if you come back and you want, and you can have like a family barbecue, then why not? Because that can save you a lot of money as well, is having a reception at home. And also another thing is, if you want to lose weight for the wedding, then find somebody to work out with, and if you want to, because a lot of women do like to lose weight before they get married, and that is your choice, and you should do that. And join the gym if it's helpful to you, because the gym, that's how I got started as well. I used the gym, and I did get a corporate discount on that from where I was working. So if you've got that in your work and you want to lose weight before your wedding, then why not join the gym where you can meet other people, and why not invite a friend to join as well, or one of your bridesmaids, to all get fit together. So there are some just quick tips on if you're having a COVID party or wedding. I hope this gives you details. Now birthdays, obviously, and also the cake. So I had my cake bought from Marks and Spencer's, because the lady that we originally saw at the ceremony, at the reception where we're going to have, where we held it, she said, because I asked for good cake companies, and she's the one who said it's not to order from a wedding cake shop, but get a cake from Marks and Spencer's and decorate it. And that was a really good idea, because we to save so much money. Now, if I were to get married again, I probably would have more of a professional cake, but I didn't see that as like one of the most important things. But I still wanted to include it in my wedding when I was married to my ex, and I don't regret the marriage as such at all. It was a great weekend. Everyone seemed to enjoy it, and that's the point. And I would, if I do ever get married again, I would. There's certain things that I would do differently. But I hope that and if it's a birthday party, you can buy. And there's nothing wrong with buying the cake, because Asda's, Waitrose do such a great selection, even Marks and Spencer's. And they don't just have plain cakes; they have cakes that you can ice as well. So it's depending on how much you wanted to spend. But when you budget on every item that you want to include in your wedding, as well as the full budget of how much you want to spend in total when it comes to arranging a birthday party, post just celebrating the end of lockdown. I think we all want to have that sort of gathering again. So I hope these have given you good ideas, and Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.